Not really sure if I should use this smartphone like this or like this. It's super thin, we can have multiple apps on the screen at once. I can take selfies and record videos using the main camera and see everything on the display. We can game on a larger screen, and if that's not enough, we can connect it to an external monitor and use it as our computer. This is the Huawei Mate X6. It is a foldable phone with some really cool features for those that want to use their phone as a tablet or even a personal computer, or for those that want to use the main camera to record content while seeing exactly what's being captured on the screen. So at this moment, I'm using the main camera, but I do have access to this screen where I can see myself, I can frame myself, so I can do everything, but not using the selfie camera, which although is not a bad camera at all, it's not as good as the main camera like any other phone. And if you are watching this video on your Windows 10 or 11 computer and you still haven't activated and can't even edit your desktop icons, don't forget to check out cdksales.com, where we can find budget official OEM keys at an affordable price, and with the coupon code that you can see on screen and down below on the video description, it will get even cheaper. It's 9.9 millimeters thick when folded, just a few millimeters more than devices like the iPhone 16 Pro or the Pixel 9 or even Pixel 9a, but it's barely noticeable. When unfolded, it's just 4.6 millimeters. The front screen is 6.45 inches and the inner display has 7.9 inches, which I think is that perfect in-between size, not too small to work with, but not too big to carry in our pocket. Both displays are OLED panels with 2.4K resolution and 1 to 120 Hz refresh rate, which is awesome for media consumption or gaming. Gaming on this thing is really fun. We can play the usual phone format while it's folded, but when we unfold it, you get much larger screen and the experience is just great. In most games that I did test out, it's not just a bigger image. You actually get more screen real estate. For example, in Diablo Immortal, we don't notice that much of a difference, but in football games, it's very noticeable, not just in size, but also in usable space. Genshin Impact is another one I tested, and the screen space is incredibly amazing. This is really cool stuff. When watching videos, you can stick to the normal format or unfold it for nearly double the size that we have with the folded size. Even though the most common video format like on YouTube is still 16:9, you will get enough screen space to read comments, type, or even browse other suggestions without pausing the video or hiding parts of it. In full screen mode, you get the black bars at the top and bottom, but the image size remains more or less the same. So personally, I prefer the first one that we have seen. On Instagram, you get a large centered image with plenty of room on the sides for the shortcuts, and when we open the comments you can read them easily without covering the entire screen. It's like this, side by side, TikTok on one side and Instagram on the other side. But we will check in just a few moments what else we can do, because we can do more than just having side by side. And if we need even a bigger display, we can just connect to any external monitor and activate the desktop mode, turning it into our personal computer. We have seen how the desktop mode works on the Huawei P70 Ultra, and with the Mate X6 is just as awesome. But in a few days I will share with you in more detail how we can use desktop mode with this device right over here, because it's really cool to be able to have it on a phone size, use it as a phone. If we need a bigger screen, then just open it up and we will have a tablet format. And if it's not enough, then we just connect to our external display and use it as a computer. Really cool. I know you are curious about the cameras, and we will be there in just a few moments. In the meantime, this is the built-in microphone on the Huawei Mate X6. It comes with 12 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigs of storage, and the Kirin 9020 CPU. And from what I've tried so far, whether gaming or using productivity apps like editing clips on the go, I felt no lag whatsoever. Now, benchmark results are solid across both CPU and GPU performance. While it's not the fastest mobile phone around, it's not the slowest, far from it. Genshin Impact, which is a pretty heavy game, runs well, even with all the graphic settings maxed out. Occasionally, you might see a minor frame drop here or there, but just on intense scenes. But you can always lower the graphic settings a bit to boost the performance. And just having in mind that all the tests that I've been doing is on the unfolded mode, which is really, really cool. Now, talking about the unfolded mode, just a few moments ago, I showed you TikTok and Instagram playing simultaneously on both screens, but we can do that with any other app. For example, Maps and Notes together, or whatever else we need. We can have one app full screen and then up to 2 floating windows at the same time. We can resize them as needed and switch between the apps just using the side toolbar. We can also split the screen into 2 standard sized apps and it will save that layout. So if I switch to another app and then want to come back to that exact configuration, I just need to select it. We can even create multiple app pairs side by side, and then we just need to swap and we will have a great multitask of having 2 apps each side. Or we can just have 2 floating apps and resize them as needed. The cameras weren't sacrificed, which is something common on foldable phones. So this could be the front face camera, but it isn't. This is the main camera on the Huawei Mate X6. Now, it's so awesome to be able to use the better camera on the phone and at the same time having the screen so that we can frame ourselves. Now, if I change to the ultra wide lens, this is what we are going to get. I can frame myself great in the shots. We will do a few tests here on lighting, but for now on the ultra wide lens. Now, if I go back to the main one, here we go. Depth of field is something that it's really cool, and probably with the lightning like this would be a cool shot. Now we can also go to 2x, which I believe it's too much, but if we use the phone as a normal phone, then we are at 1x. We can go to ultra wide so that you can see where I am. Let's go back to 1x, main camera. Let's go to 2x. We are working with optical zoom, and if we go to 4x, this is still optical zoom. Now I'm going to press 10x. This is digital zoom. So we will check out on the screen how well it will behave. It's windy, by the way. I'm using this external microphone. Let's go back to 1x, which is where we are going to get the best out of this camera, which is awesome. And although I wouldn't use the front face camera on this phone because I don't see the reason to use it, this is what we can get out of the front face camera. We are recording at 4K back on the main camera. There we go. It's completely different. So we were watching the lighting conditions here so that we can see the behavior of the phone and the processing of the image. If I go full blast towards the sun, actually you can see the phone right over here on my shirt. This is a really harsh image, and in my opinion it's doing a good job, actually a great job. And then if we go completely to the dark side where the sun is right below my head, let's drop it a little bit and see what it will do, and let's bring it up. And for those that are looking to create content on a 16:9 format, this is what we are going to get. Main camera, I'm reaching out with my hand, so no selfie stick, nothing whatsoever, and this is what we are going to get. I've been recording at 4K 30 frames per second on all formats, but right now to get the full 16:9 format. So if you create content a lot with your phone, this is probably one of the coolest features that we can get. So yeah, this is one of my favorite features on this phone. There are plenty of features that I love, but this one, being able to use the main camera and watch the framing on the screen, is just awesome. Hopefully you've enjoyed to meet the Huawei Mate X6, which is a phone or a tablet depending on the hour, depending on what we are doing, and it can be also our personal computer using desktop mode. If that was the case, don't forget the usual thumbs up right over there, which is really appreciated on this side of the screen. My name is Roberto, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.